In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Yarua, the Wookiee Senator, for the original Trilogy collection, ironically enough, because he's actually a prequel character. Towards the very end of the original Trilogy line in like early 2005, we did get a lot of actual OT-specific characters, but we also did get a few others from the prequels as well, mostly background characters to kind of bridge that gap going into the Revenge of the Sith line. I do recall seeing most of them in retail at the time, but I never did see this Wookiee at all. And he's one I've been wanting in my collection for a while. I've actually been eyeing him for maybe 6, 7, 8 years now at this point. I just didn't get around to it. He's not an expensive action figure. It's just one of those ones that's like, I'll get around to it when I do. And the time has finally come, and I'm glad I did. This is now the second Wookiee I have in my collection. Of course, I've owned Chewbacca in the past before, but right now I currently just have the Black Chrysanthemum for 3 3/4 inch, and then this Wookiee here. Black Series is a different case. So again, another obscure background character. In fact, I can't even really recall seeing him in the Phantom Menace at all. I know it's probably during the time that Queen Amidala calls for the vote of no confidence against Chancellor Valorum. He's probably in the background in that scene there. But he's just not a standout character to me. Again, really miss getting a lot of these background characters. Personally, I'm a big fan of a lot of the politicians we gotten from Hasbro over the years as well. And I would like to try and collect them all at some point and make like a Senate display or see what I can do with that. And this Wookiee definitely adds to that collection. So before we look any closer at the figure, look at the package here real quick. Yarua, I think is how it's pronounced. You can see he's in the Senate pod there, in the Galactic Senate, Coruscant Senate. Image of the character there. And Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Yeah, 2005, figure number 2. Description of the Wookiee there. He's known for his fairness, collectiveness, calmness, I guess. Some of the other figures, I distinctively recall seeing all 3 of these at retail. And I never saw any of these ones. I do have Sly Moore though, and I can't wait to do the video on her at some point. Very interesting character. Of course, that iconic Tartakovsky Yoda there. Really miss seeing that. Star Wars Hyperspace. Very nice. So, not a whole lot I can really say about this action figure. It's pretty basic. In fact, he doesn't even really have any accessories. But the sculpting work is really nice. Very unique Wookiee. These days, if Hasbro even made a Wookiee of any kind at all that can't be reused, it seems like they would go the deluxe route with it, like they did with the Black Chrysanthemum. Very nice head sculpt. His kind of a gray beard there. Kind of a normal expression for a Wookiee. And the rest of him, pretty usual. Very towering presence. He's, as far as Wookiees go, he's kind of a thin one. Definitely the Black Chrysanthemum would be much shorter. I actually did not bring him here right now, but I'm sure I'll show him off side by side again at some point. But the figures I have to compare Yarua with here are much more congruent. Nice paint detailing all around. Has some gray streaks here and there. I would assume that's to signify that he's a little bit of an older Wookiee. I'd be interested to read more about his character. What exactly happens going into like Attack of Clones and the Revenge of the Sith? Did he vote for the creation of the clone army? What happened after the overthrow of the Republic, for instance? I'd really like to know all that. In terms of articulation, it's very basic. I would assume he has an articulated head, but you're not going to get a lot of movement out of that. But he does have swivel shoulders, and then swivel elbows, and swivel waist, and then swivel hips, and that's it. So pretty basic. Again, he's a character that he probably just stand in a Senate pod, for instance, and then kind of flail his arms up in there and be like, what's the meaning of this? In terms of accessories, like I said, he doesn't really come with anything, but if you count his satchel here, you could take this off, but you'd have to either pop his head off or somehow be able to pry that around, which I'm not going to do. But it's nice that he has something. It's a nice yellow color. This is the flap right there. A little bit of a black outline in it, and a little bit of details. And of course the usual stand here. She does fit very nicely on. That's about all I can tell you about Yarua. I will bring out some of his other senators here. We'll bring out Palpatine, even though this is technically more during Valorum's time. And we'll bring out the Sly Moore here real quick. Then Menetil is here. And this is Ascok. And they all look really good together. I do have many more, but this is just a small sample for now. Wanted to kind of see how he would blend in, and I think he blends in really nice. Can't wait to add him in with the rest of the senators I have, and see how many more I can get. I think I'm getting kind of close now at this point in the game, most of the senators. But anyways, that's about all I can tell you about Yarua. Would I recommend him for your collection? If you're a big fan of the political aspect of Star Wars, the politicians, the senators, then yes, he's an essential character. If you're a big fan of background characters, it's a great addition. It's a great action figure for what it is. He's just a character that you're mostly going to have standing in the background like this. And he looks really good. Happy to finally add him in my collection after all these years of keeping my eye on him. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There will always be more to come. And if you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I just appreciate all your support. And check out some of the links in the description if you haven't done so already. As always, thanks for watching.